haven't looked convincing since then. And I think one of the things that people have criticized them off before is being a little bit one-dimensional, especially within their draft pools, having a small champion pool to work with. And I feel like that has kind of hit them here. We saw Watley limited to things like the Mundo, which, although he has success, I mean, every pick Watley plays has success in the lane and solo kill, but doesn't always lend itself to the team. And Lee Brothers, he just did not look like he was comfortable in the Jarvan in that matchup.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll have to see what else he pulls out. Something like the Nunu, basically his signature pick, was banned last game, but in the second rotation. So if it makes it through this time, maybe we'll see him just go for comfort early on, because just comfort is not the word I would use to describe him last game.
And when you think about it in this way, it's that they decided to prioritize the Vigar as that third pick. I don't feel like that was something that you necessarily needed to take then, because it allowed them to answer in return later on with the LeBlanc for the counter pick. They didn't even use any of their later bans to try and deal with LeBlanc, and it just felt like you're in a situation where you're picking a mobile mid lane who isn't the highest priority pick right now in the current meta. You could have taken the likes of that Nunu at that point in the draft.
All right, well, we'll have to see what it's going to be. It's definitely not Gragas, as that one has once again been banned away by Barrage. As we said, it is sort of Lee Brothers' only sort of strong meta jungler that he plays. You take that one off the table, and now he's resorted to things he's either less comfortable on, like the Jarvan, or to things like his Nunu, which he's good at, but they're just not as strong in a team setting.
Yeah, definitely less comfortable on the Jarvan as we saw there. And the bans going exactly the same way as before. Again, going to hint on, it's mostly target bans for the side of DegreeSports, with that Pantheon, which is unfortunately for them a blue side ban. It was Zaya here, and it was a Kai'Sa pickup for DegreeSports, so it could well go in a similar direction. This isn't the point of the draft that I had a massive issue with, so I'd be fine with them repeating this here.
Yeah, Blue Spirits had a good showing last game. Again, like I said, it wasn't exactly his sort of dominant champion that we normally see him on, but he had a really good start, so we take it.
Yeah, and I feel like it scales well. I feel like maybe DegreeSports lent a bit too much into that, the whole scaling aspect of it, but it definitely, you want something that can go toe-to-toe in the later stages, and Kai'Sa is one of those super strong junglers in the current meta. Now, Barrage have repeated theirs. They've gone for the Tristan and the Lee Sin, both confident picks for Scoot and Jakamaka, but this means you can respond. I want to see Nautilus, but I want to see something for Lee Brothers here that he is more comfortable on. If they just take the Vigar again, I'm going to be a little bit upset.
So what do you think, other than the Jarvan, of course, and other than the Nunu, what might Lee Brothers want in this game?
It's hard to say because I can know what picks I would like to see.
Yeah, like a Rek'Sai. Yeah. That's not Lee Brothers.
But it's what, like Rek'Sai, Olaf are both solid picks into the Lee Sin, but they're not Lee Brothers picks. And I'd rather him play something that he's comfortable on than play something that he just doesn't look like he's going to play effectively. And we'll have to see if that is what they're going to follow through with. I want to see it because I feel like that's the important thing to go for rather than go in a different direction.
Yeah.
But they're just going to take Yasuo here for Handsome, so not completely convinced, because obviously the big issue here is that one of the major things for Yasuo for me is synergy with the rest of your team, particularly your jungler. Gragas Yasuo has always been a massive talking point for us. That's not going to be available here because the Gragas is off the card. They're going to ban away other champions that have strong synergy with him, and you're dealing with a LeBlanc. It's again the Lee Sin LeBlanc combo, super strong at level 3 against something like the Yasuo, which is... It's hard to evade ganks on the Yasuo because there's no dash to get you out of the situation. You can only go deeper into the minions. It's not going to be a fun time. And then unexpectedly, they ban away the Nunu once again. So Lee Brothers champion pool getting shortened. Handsome on a pick where he's in a bad matchup. I'm not convinced so far.
All right, well, there are a few possible alternatives still for Lee Brothers if he doesn't want to play a meta champion he's less comfortable on. Maybe we could see something like the Ivern. It's not terrible versus the Lee Sin if you're very familiar with the matchup, and having that extra sort of shielding and defensive power to help out your Kai'Sa and Yasuo could be nice. It's often a favorite of Nunu mains.
But it's really bad with the Yasuo. It just doesn't work.
It's pretty decent with Yasuo. Speaking as the former highest win rate Ivern in the US,
I just don't think it's a great match.
Not terrible.
Specifically into Lee Sin LeBlanc. You are never going to land a knock-up on LeBlanc. You are never going to land an effective CC on LeBlanc. And they're just going to pick apart Yasuo in the mid lane. For me, personally, if you're going to go the Ivern direction, I would prefer to see something like Orianna in the mid lane, which is a defensive mage you can play into the LeBlanc matchup, scales well, and provides that protection for Blue Spirits in the later stage of the game. Then they have an effective team fight. I am not convinced with Yasuo in this mid lane matchup, and I don't think there's much that's going to be able to save it unless you are able to pick up something like the Gragas, but the Gragas is off the cards.
All right, well, we'll have to see what they do go for. Of course, it will be up against the LeBlanc in the mid lane, but some of the benefits of the Yasuo do include just having the Wind Wall to be able to just stop a Tristana. you only get to do it once, every wave, less than that. But the Tristana will eventually get the tower, but you can still just hold off the push one more time. The thing is, I think that DegreeSports aren't really that proactive and that ready to be able to then make those plays. Like, okay, this is the window we have to abuse.
Okay, this is a jungler that can go toe-to-toe pretty well. This is more like it. This is something that it can provide a knock-up. If you're quick, you can actually burst and knock up a LeBlanc, and especially if they go for a two-man gank, well, if they go for Lee Sin ganking LeBlanc's lane, if you overcommit, say you don't land the chains, it can be turned around. So I do like this from Lee Brothers. It's a bit more early fighting power in the mid-jungle combo. And they have banned away the Ornn. So Barrage Retirement Home going for a similar draft, but they will not have that Ornn available for the Governor. Watley going to pick up the Tahm Kench in the top lane. Again, I guess this is because he prefers it as a blind. But I do not like this pick. I just don't think it's good after the nerfs to a shield. I think it's way too squishy. And I think the benefit you get from laning in the top lane against, anything, isn't worth it. Yeah,
we did see the matchup versus the KO yesterday. If that's something that Barrage want to try. It went pretty well early for Watley, but in the end...
That is Tahm Kench top.
Yeah, pretty much.
The lane goes pretty well early, but then the problem is you have a Tahm Kench top.
Pick up Swifties and you're just...
Who's been nerfed massively. The shield is so small now, you're no longer an unkillable machine, and you have no hard CC you can instantly find. Up against the likes of Sion, I feel like this composition is going to spike a little bit earlier than the last one for Barrage Retirement Home, but they're going to have this massive beefy Sion who in the mid game is going to feel unkillable. He has so much CC he can offer. I think as DegreeSports, in response, they don't have as much scale on themselves. So this is no longer going to be, can DegreeSports hold on, which I do like, but I'm still concerned about some of their picks. But it comes down to, can Lee Brothers find success? Is Hanson going to be able to survive the lane up against the LeBlanc and the Lee Sin? And can they go toe-to-toe? Because last game, they weren't able to, and I feel like they missed on their win conditioner scale.
Okay, so we saw that last game, as you said, Scoot and Vrau just had to take over the early game and the mid game. Had a bit of a rough time at the very start, but then got into it pretty well. What can Lee Brothers do to counter that, or at least negate it?
Well, I feel like you can just match him in the lane, because early levels, you still can actually shove in a LeBlanc.
Yeah.
You match the Lee Sin, you win that 1v1 any day of the week. So you can contest him on the Scuttle Crabs, you can get control of the mid lane area, and if there's no opportunity for the Lee Sin to gank, the LeBlanc is on her own. You can just consistently shove her in. If she does try and overcommit, she's going to take damage from the minions and the Yasuo. And as long as Lee Sin can't gank, I feel like with the wind wall to boot, you don't have the all-in pressure from the LeBlanc. So if you set up the mid lane in that situation, you really can take over and start to apply the pressure elsewhere, and it completely changes the dynamic of the game.
Yeah, all right, we'll have to see if that's what they look to do. Remember that you only need to find like one gank for the Yasuo in that matchup, just something to get him a little bit of a lead, just enough so that he can get a Null Magic or a Negatron, then he's not at risk anymore.
To me, it's not even the gank as such,
just
it's providing the control.
Yeah.
It's providing the control. It's giving the vision so that he can push up, because in the matchup against the LeBlanc struggles on the tower. She's not great at CS on the tower. She doesn't have the wave clear to thin out the wave unless she uses a W, which costs a lot of mana, and is one of her big trading tools because she maxes it. I feel like there's just a range of things you can do, and ideally in a 1v1 the Yasuo will win. That's not my issue with it. My issue is if the Lee Sin is able to find his way, and LeBlanc's so good at setting up ganks. So Lee Brothers is my one to watch. He did not have a good game in game one, but this is an opportunity for him to redeem himself up against Scoot.
All right, well, they clearly do have some early game aspirations here. The DegreeSports mid-jungle, as we see both of them actually running Halo Blades in this situation. Halo Blades Yasuo is something that we're only sort of just starting to see rather recently, but with both of them having these increased autos, if they find someone in the early stages, they're just dead.
Yeah, so I talked a little bit about this the other day, the Halo Blades Yasuo, and basically the thought process behind it is it allows you to get more damage off when you ult sooner. Obviously, in a tank meta, Conqueror is great. If he was going up against a Sion, you probably would want to take the Conqueror. But in a volatile mid lane matchup, having Halo Blades means that you're able to use your ult the last breath and quickly follow up with a Q and an auto, even before you've hit those breakpoints that would normally allow it.
All right, well, a lot of level 1 power coming in for the side of DegreeSports. Governor not able to get the full channel, and actually both junglers having to smite just to stay alive. The stun will connect, but the flash is available. Scoot not going to take it though, will drop down and have a Triumph healing. Might be enough for Lee Brothers. He's going to flash on out, and 2 stacks of the passive are there for Governor, so the flash, the stun will connect. Watley's looking for one more lick, and he gets the double kill there. But meanwhile, bot lane, there's another level 1 all-in, and they've managed to find themselves 2 kills.
Yeah, winner in the bot lane is Jackamaka, is Barrage Retirement Home, because the AD carry stays alive to get the XP. But on the other side of the map, DegreeSports, I mean, we're talking about strength in level 1. Tom Kench and a Jin Zhao, 2 of the absolute best. They get kills on a Watley. They get the red buff steal on a Lee Brothers. This is exactly the start they needed to make some headway in this game. And because Scoot has gone down, no way he can assist mid lane. Handsome is starting to make some work, put some work down on this lane already.
Well, let's not forget that we did see Scoot have a rough start earlier in the last game, and he still managed to come out fine. But Handsome is doing a pretty good job in this lane here. He's even got Ignite up right now, and when he had the level lead, it was looking pretty. We'll have to see what he looks to do from now on, but the wave is pushing on in for DegreeSports bot, and we do have a replay, hopefully, to see how this bot lane works out. And literally, Bartiono just seems to have walked up and looked for the stun, yet he just walks up, flash stun onto Blue Spirit, who cleanses before the Ignite.
You see full HP Blue Spirit and Bartiono at 30%,
and then they're just
and they die at the same time. That is called aftershock abuse. That is literally the reason he lasted so long. But now Scoot back on the map.
Yeah, all right, he's coming in. He's only level 2, and like you said, there's no wave that Handsome can use to get out. But there is a Scoot, so...
And think of the difference in that play. If Scoot was level 3, if he had a red buff, it could have been much more of a threat to Handsome. And the result there, because they put down that pressure early on Scoot, is he's not able to find the pressure. Handsome can walk away. He's completely fine with the situation. All in all, DegreeSports, definitely a good start. Definitely better than game 1.
All right, meanwhile, Watley using his advantage right now to just sort of slap Governor about in the top lane, especially more so when he goes back and buys his items that he's going to use his 2 kills for. And also, Governor has gone for Glacial Augment, so every time he gets beat up in this lane, it's not like he's got Grasp to sort of regen it back or anything.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to trade autos with a Tom Kent irrespective, but now gang coming in from Lee Brothers.
Yeah, the hook does connect onto the flashless Bartiono. He will try to stun down Lee Brothers to see what he can do. Actually, Lee Brothers is taking a lot of damage. Is he going to drop? Jackamaka might look to try and jump for a reset, but he's not quite that suicidal, and so the kill does go over for Blue Spirits onto Bartiono. It is a 1-for-0 for Degree.
A little bit close, but in the end, it's not enough to take Lee Brothers down, and much better game already. He's picked an aggressive early pick on the Jin Zhao. He's assisted in 3 kills so far. Sure, 2 of them came for that early invade, but he's making his presence known on the map. And DegreeSports, they actually look like the team who came first out of the 4 on Tuesday. They are looking convincing here for the first time in the past 2 days. Happy to see it.
All right, so what do they have to do now? Where are they going to take these advantages they've already had? They've got to get this game snowboarding, keep it going. How do they do that?
Keep the consistent pressure. Control the bot side is super important. Tom Kench is fine top. There isn't really that much threat on him because he has so much bulkiness and there's a little bit of a lack of damage between the Lee Sin and the Scion. So just put complete focus on this bot side of the map. Keep the vision control up in the jungle. Ensure that Scoot can't find his way behind Handsome. And also ensure that if some fights go off bot lane, it's because Lee Brothers has joined in and started them.
Alrighty, well, we'll have to see if too many fights do break out down there, as Cloud Dragon is the first dragon to spawn, so not a mountain, not an infernal, but still something that is very nice, especially when pressure is the name of the game. Gonna want to be able to get between those lanes ASAP.
Honestly, a massive time investment to go for it, and I feel like Cloud usually the lowest in the early levels.
Yes.
It does have benefits. Not going to turn it down, but I feel like bigger priority is getting some of that gold from the plates. Right now, though, you see Scoot and Bartiono looking to contest some of this bot side river vision. This is important because it threatens Handsome. He's now going to get shoved in because he can't walk up because it's so easy to set the gank. And now Vrao was looking to roam, but he's been challenged.
Right, well, the flash has come out and they've knocked up the wrong one, but you take the 25 gold anyway, as the flash is an important summoner. Now Scoot comes on in, but he is on vision, and the Halo Blades are back up.
Just questionable. Handsome should be trapped in his lane, but instead, Vrao ends up getting punished, and now...
Ooh, nice dodge on the hook. Nothing stacked up for Lee Brothers and Handsome. It's not like we have knockups available quite just yet, although as I say that, they have both stacked both their knockups, so I take it all back.
Barrage Retirement Home. Definitely contesting. They know the importance of this bot side river control. And that's why there's this constant back and forth fight to maintain it. But now, Longstaff
looking. He's got the root, and this is, of course, the Kai'Sa burst with the passive. Bartiono goes down, and now Scoot's moving in from the top side. Mid laner's coming as well.
1 second after he died, Bartiono's flash came up. So perfect timing to set that one up. And now Handsome might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he's going to be able to wind wall out, I believe, the chain. And that is the important one to dodge. Longstaff and Lee Brothers moving up as well. And whilst this is going on, Watley's doing red.
Watley just stealing that away. He has no cares. Takes that one, and now just going to head back over the lane. And we said before how you don't want to trade autos with the Tahm Kench. You definitely don't want to now, by all means. So gonna have to be a little bit careful in this situation. But it's really solid control coming out from DegreeSports. Longstaff doing a lot of work to control this bot side river, and not really sure what he's doing top in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, Governor's 6, so the best case situation, he's going to ult out, but he actually ults forward, gets for knock-up, double knock-up under the tower, but Watley is not too fussed. He's got the shield. He might be, though, as Scoot has now turned up. Now another route, and they look for maybe the stun, but knock-up connects onto both of them, and they find Longstaff under the tower, so Watley left in the 1v2. He's looking for the grass box, and look at the regen from the pots and the red buff. He is okay being up here in the 1 versus 2. And what's the reaction on the map? It looks like Varal's going to roam, and Handsome's going to push.
It's just a cast of curse. As soon as I phrase Longstaff, he just goes and insit. There's no reason for you to be top lane in that situation.
It's an interesting one, yeah. Oh, but actually, big flank from Watley on his own lane. Comes on in, gets for double stun, and actually just straight up spits the man out. Takes a lot of damage, but will fall to the tower. Not great, as the shutdown is secured by Governor.
Again, not worth it, because Governor can now get the shove. Scoot will be able to push it into the tower, and you gave over the extra gold for the shutdown to the side of Governor. So quite a big misplay there from the side of Watley, and it was Longstaff who initiated all of this.
And where's Lee Brothers during all of this? Like, there's so much going on the top side of the map. He's taken Krugs and red. No cross-map play, although as I say that, he comes on into Bartiano, who does now have the flash available, but hooks are there for Longstaff. He finds it actually onto Jackamaka, who's forced to flash on out, but now the TP advantage from the Governor. He's coming on down with the Scion, no ultimate. The Lee Brothers should still fall. He's trying to find something onto Jackamaka, but it won't quite be enough. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we do see a gank through from Scoot, but
Watley TP top.
Oh, I think it just came up, because when I looked, it wasn't up. I don't know if it was just coming off
Watley
cooldown or
TP
just going...
top. Watley literally TP top.
You hate to see it. To be fair, Tahm Kench is not the best TP team fighter.
I mean,
but
he's
like,
a great
you need
TP
something.
skirmisher. So that's the thing, is that you TP the Tahm Kench in, anyone who overcommits is going to die to him if they're in melee range. Anyone who's low, you can then eat up and at least buy them a little bit of time.
For sure.
I mean, you can make the argument maybe they wanted to go for the plates, but that could have been a really positive play on the bot side. In the end, it isn't. Watley opts not to join, and it gives space for Barrage Retirement Home's bot lane to breathe, because Bartiano was level 4 before that play.
Yeah, that was
He was so far behind. He's now at level 5, probably going to be 6 soon. He was in a massive power trough, and he's been able to catch up because of that counteract play coming out from Governor.
And it looks like Barrage Retirement Home know that the DegreeSports want this Herald, so we do see the Sigil thrown on into the Wind Wall. There's such an important ability in this matchup, the wall is. But now Herald seems to be the object of everyone's affections, as the bot lane are swapped top by Retirement Home. Scoot coming on up as well. We might see a fight break out over this one.
So he's looking to contest this one.
Governor moving
Blue
up.
Spirits isn't here. Why?
Governor has ult as well. All right, what's going to be the play here? I can't tell this route on a ward. No, he's not. But Governor charging on in, and the DegreeSports have realized they don't have the numbers advantage and have just freshly leashed Rift Herald.
It's a pretty basic concept. When you want to prioritize the Herald, you swap your bot lane top. And
yeah.
for some reason, DegreeSports
they see the bot lane. They see the bot lane come up top and like, oh, Rift Herald, that's a good idea, and then they go for it.
Yeah, and it's like,
I think
you
that's not
need
how it
to
works.
bring your AD carry in for these fights, especially a Kai'Sa, who, even though it's early levels, the passive is always going to provide that sustained damage. They lose the out. They're not even reacting to the Herald push, so it's going to be a couple of plays going in. They do actually get there in the end to defend, but just... It's things like these that are really questionable from DegreeSports, who have had such a great early game. They're still ahead in gold, but they're just given free advantages over the Barrage Retirement Home, which they shouldn't be.
Well, Handsome finding some favorable trades out here in the mid lane. We'll have to see, can he try and turn that into something like a dragon? Meanwhile, Bartiano's chilling in a bush, and he is going to scout out Lee Brothers, but...
He's been spotted by the sweeper.
Yeah,
there.
Oh, well, I guess they aren't too fussed by it, though, because Watley ulting on into the bottom lane. Governor, no flash, no ult as well. So this should actually just be a kill for the Tahm Kench. You're going to eat him up. You're going to spit him out. You're going to give him a few more licks and land a stun as well for good measure. And that's the danger of having no escapes available when you're playing versus a Tahm Kench in a solo lane.
Yeah, easy pickings for the solo kill. Governor, no way out of that one. No flash roll, as you said. Did see the flash burn by Barciono in the mid lane to get him out of that sticky situation. And Handsome using the wind wall to do very much the same.
Handsome really, really strong with these wind walls because one of the important things about a Yasuo is just how you're using it and if you're recognizing what the most important ability to block is. It might not always be the flashiest, things like the Ornults, but there are just certain times, for example, with like LeBlanc, as long as you don't get hit by the Sigil, that's so much of her damage. Sometimes it's worth it to take the chain if you're blocking the Sigil. Of course, in this case, it's just a Q from Scoot, and the tower top does fall after the Governor's no longer able to defend it.
4K is the goal lead right now over to DegreeSports. Getting that first tower blood, definitely helpful. We can see the goal difference here. 2,000 of it alone in that top lane. It's a bit more gradual on the rest of the map, but it shows how much of an advantage that Watley has over Governor right now. But scaling is going to favor the side of the Scion when it gets later in the game. But for now, this Tahm Kench is feeling a little bit unkillable despite the nerfs to the shield. Getting this much of a lead, you just don't have the damage on the other side to deal with him right now. Tristana isn't going to be able to burst through him. LeBlanc also in a similar case. They need a little bit more momentum. And we have a quick pause there. We're going to hear some game sounds, so hopefully that means we are going to get back into it pretty soon, but we will have to wait and see.
Okay, so... Oh, no, all right, brilliant. Go straight back in.
Yeah, that was quick.
Cool. Not sure what the issue was. Maybe we'll never know, but the dragon is being started by Retirement Home.
Yeah, so pretty late on this Power Dragon, mostly because neither team really cared about it. Low priority. But obviously, it is a contributing factor. The extra movement speed is an asset for Barrage Retirement Home. But the bigger one is the second, the Infernal. 5 minutes away, and I feel like both teams are going to look to set up for this one and contest it. In that time, Barrage Retirement Home need to get themselves back in the game a bit if they want to have a good chance at it.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they can do. Right now, it looks like Jakamaka might just be the option. And it's kind of unfortunate for them that the Fed member with the shutdown is Watley on the Tahm Kench. Very hard champion to kill, especially if you're trying to look to dive it, of course, because of the thick skin. So they have to put their attention elsewhere on the map for smaller returns.
Do you see them trying to apply some pressure to the top side over to Handsome? The thing that you see, you have to be pretty aggressive to find some momentum against LeBlanc, who has so much safety. But he's in a good spot. He's got that static shiv. He's a level up onto the LeBlanc, has actually just been equalized, but he's in a comfortable spot here. He's up in farm. And honestly, my biggest concern for this pick was the laner phase, was going up against not just the LeBlanc, but the Lee Sin as well. And they've managed to give him a chance to get away. But now Rao might be in trouble himself.
Got no W, but he does have a jungler, Scoot. Going, trying to bring some back up, but the W is now up. A cooldown, no, that was the ultimate. And Handsome's looking for something. He's going to flash further forward to escape from Longstaff, who does, of course, have Hex Flash, so he's okay with taking that trade.
Not sure about that one. Longstaff could have just gotten range of him and ulted. Maybe you flash ult in the engage, and then you know the follow-up is going to be there from the Yasuo, and you could deal with the situation after that.
He was saving it for Jakamaka.
A little bit messy, and they are potentially going to look to contest mid. Ult comes in now.
There it gets the knock-up, and then the ult from Handsome as well. Leona trying to disengage, and Jakamaka forced to blow both sums.
I mean, they get both sums, so I'm never going to complain about that play, but definitely a tricky one to execute when the Tristana is just under tower.
I do like the play, though, that you go for this 5-man top, it doesn't work. You go, whatever. Oh, 4-man. We'll just run down to mid.
But what I don't like about the play is that
they
don't get anything off.
Yeah.
You know,
you get the double sums, but it's a Tristana. She has so much self-peel, though.
But it's the fact that they chunked them out because they took a couple too many tower hits, and also just they lacked the conviction. They didn't opt to do anything to the tower. Barrage Retirement Home got a free reset off, and now they're just here to pick up the wave, so no real issue for them. They are down those sums, and the critical point is we are looking towards that Infernal in 2 minutes 30, so not having sums with the Tristana may come in huge there. Question's going to be, before that point, can Barrage Retirement Home try and burn some of DegreeSports sums on their own?
We'll have to see if that's going to be the spike as well. Blue Spirits might be able to finish his second item, the Gwynsu's, by the time that fight comes up, and I doubt Jakamaka will be, just looking at components right now. So if you find that one ADC is an item up and the other is 2 sums down, that could be an important
neither
match.
will have second item by this point. 2 minutes, pretty short.
How much
Blue Spirits
gold Blue has?
Blue Spirits just reset.
Oh, he just reset now? Okay.
So presumably, and the thing is...
He needs one, what was it, 1.13? Something like that?
It is...
I think it's 1130. Or is it 1300?
1300, yeah, because it's 435 the ampere and it's 980 the final complete. 980, 980.
Yeah, there's a 5 in there somewhere as well.
Yeah, so I mean, if they can stall out for that point, sure, but I feel like not necessarily the most likely thing. And I feel like the lane assignment needs to change a little bit towards that point. It's a minute 30. Vrao being on the top side. You want him on the bot side of the map. You want him there to help contest that vision and cause issues. But Barrage retirement home, they're putting their focus towards the top side, potentially looking for a pick before they go for this aggressive play. It has meant they've sacrificed vision on the bot lane.
They're looking for Scud, but Watley's coming in with the ultimate. I think Handsome might be able to just 1v2 this here. He's looking for the damage onto Vrao and isn't able to find it, but Vrao drops to the tower instead. And now Watley, as we've seen him before in the long lane, he gets the flash, he's got the lick, it's a slow, it's going to be a swallow soon as well. But now the rest of Barrage are coming. And whilst this is happening, DegreeSports are moving on up to top. I mean, Watley is huge. He's got Sunfire, Tabby, and Warmogs. He's getting out of this fine, so what are Degree doing on the rest of the map?
I mean, they're trying to do some damage to the mid lane. They did...
Just hit the tower!
Nothing, really. They did nothing. That's all I'm going to say. They got very little. They didn't even consolidate their control towards the Dragon area. They have less vision. They have less vision before that play. No, they have less vision than they had before that play. Yeah. So, you know, before that play, they had more control of the Dragon area. So, I don't know how that happened, but it did.
No, I mean, it just be like that sometimes.
But yeah, it was poor execution, honestly, from Vrao. Taking that extra tower hit was just really questionable. But now they are back on the map. They're heading over. Dragon spawning in 10.
Well, Vrao's trying to find another kill, but he will not be able to find Blue Spirits. Handsome takes his hop on in and will grab that kill. Teleport coming on through, and again, Watley is just massive. A lovely wind wall to force Jakamaka to hop on in, but it does not matter as Lee Brothers goes on down. Now, Scud might be trying to find something, but a big knock-up comes through from the Governor, and Bartiono gets through onto Blue Spirits, who again lives with a tiny amount of health. We cannot say the same for Jakamaka, and now Scud falls as well. Blue Spirits pushing in mid whilst the team moves towards the Dragon.
And Longstaff just been on point this game, finding the engages, finding Jakamaka with no sums, sets up DegreeSports perfectly, and they will take their prize, which is this Infernal Dragon. Next will, I believe, be another Infernal, so... another one that they can potentially contest and get more security towards them. They have just picked up the Ginsus now for Blue Spirits. So next fight, he's even in an even better position. But this is just a great start for DegreeSports. We saw them struggle in the early stages last game. They were contesting too much when they didn't have the scaling on the comp. But here, Lee Brothers has set his team up well. Handsome benefited from having an actual 1v1 in the mid lane. And then their bot lane, who I criticized heavily coming into today, have performed so much better. Longstaff has been on point. Blue Spirits, there has been a couple of moments where, you know, it looked like he was vulnerable, but he managed to survive them. It's just been better execution from DegreeSports.
Yeah, Blue Spirits nearly got bopped twice in that fight, but both times ends up coming out with just a slither of health, and because of that, they are able to secure the Dragon and make sure that it is a favored fight for DegreeSports. Now, Baron is on the table in just 10 seconds, and we already see little smidgens of vision coming out from DegreeSports. Now, when you have a Gwynsu's Kai'Sa, that thing does go down pretty quickly. They might try to look for a play relatively soon.
And the big thing is the flank potential. If you go for that, you can put Watley behind in the back line. It can cause some massive issues.
Yeah.
But then again, it's just set up the play around this, set up the vision control. You have really good pick, you have really good setup on the back of having a Nautilus Assault. All you need to do is press R on someone, and instantly Handsome and Blue Spirits can follow if it's the right pick. If it's not, then they can simply back off, and all you've burnt is one ultimate tool from the support. But now they're looking to contest the bot side on this blue.
Yeah, moving on in, Lee Brothers chooses the buff as his target and then knocks it on out. Meanwhile, knocking Scud towards his team and does find that kill. Now, Blue Spirits coming on the side, and Jakamaka is nowhere to be found. He's in the top lane, so the kill will look towards Vrao, but he's able to hop on out of that one, so the tower is the new focus. Vrao has his ultimate and will use it to hop over the wall now. The ultimate from Tam Kench will bring everyone towards the Baron, and with the kill on Scud, they might just try to look for the Baron itself.
Yeah, jungler down, no smite to contest, but will be a pretty slow Baron, so have to be careful here because Scoot may respawn. Honestly,
Barrage look like they're okay to just give this. Jakamaka was trying to recall. He's now coming in. He's at the back of the pit, and Longstaff is looking. They've found out Governor. It's not really the target they want, but they will take him nonetheless. Again, a lovely wall completely blocking Jakamaka and Vrau out of this fight, but everyone is distracted by the zombie. Once he goes down, Jakamaka is soon to follow, and then Bartiono, for good measure, Handsome, forced out of the fight, will not be able to hack the Baron, but Blue Spirits doesn't care. He's going for Vrau instead. Only 2 members stand to defend this Baron, and it may just be taken right here by DegreeSports. Watley as well, just on zone duty, and he's looking for the 1v2 because he's confident that he'll win it.
Yeah, Scoot just can't contest this. He can't walk up. Watley is going to play disruption. The rest of the team will go towards this Baron. It's slower now without the Yasuo. It's gone pretty fast before, but either way, with no contest, this should be pretty free for DegreeSports, and they are looking so good in this game.
And we say that DegreeSports were looking sort of uncoordinated in the last game and in elements of this game. Right there, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. Even though they were turning off the Baron and onto a tank, while still getting hit by the Baron, mostly off the back of that amazing wind wall by Handsome, they were able to come out very ahead on that fight, get the kills, and it looked to me like Retirement Home didn't have that same level of communication. We saw when it started that Jakamaka was chilling on the top lane, starts recalling, and then walks away, and then walks back around the back of the pit and goes sort of the longest way possible.
It just feels like the coordination isn't there right now from Barrage Retirement Home. And Jakamaka consistently being caught out by CC in these team fights. They're looking to get resets in this just on. They're giving him solo farm in the side lane, but it just hasn't resulted in anything to any fruition. So now, DegreeSports have the Baron, and this is where it gets really difficult because Barrage Retirement Home is not a team that works well against the likes of a Baron buff. They don't have safe wave clear. They don't have much wave clear at all, so the push is going to be so devastating. DegreeSports starting to get some setup on the vision control, waiting for Handsome to come over.
Yeah, they are very scared of Vrau. They know what he's up to. They've learned from last game, you cannot be near walls that you don't have vision of, because even though Barrage Retirement Home are behind, Vrau has his Ludens, he has his Sork Shoes. If you're Blue Spirits, that's really all he needs.
Hex Drinker critically for Blue Spirits, though. That on top of the shield from Result may be enough to keep him alive, but Vrau now looking over the wall.
Yeah, maybe he tries for Longstaff instead. The Leona ult comes on down. Blue Spirits immediately going to cleanse it on out. The focus is Lee Brothers, but he has the ult, he has the Sterix, he has the stopwatch, so they get the kill. They find the second onto Bartiono. Vrau is still hanging on the backside of the wall. We cannot say the same for Jakamaka, as he has gone down, and they will find 1 tower, maybe 2, maybe the inhibitor, and maybe more.
Yeah, Vrau going to try and clear out the minions, but not much you can do there. Governor just going again with the 1v1 against Watley, but DegreeSports absolutely crushed them in their team fight. No hope for the side of Barrage Retirement Home, and they might just look to end here and now.
Yeah, we have Watley ulting on in with the Abyssal Voyage, coming on in to just tank up these towers and hit them down. We have Scoot spawning in 5 seconds. Vrau available now. Jakamaka up in under 10, but the towers are falling. Lee Brothers is on zone duty, but both are down. The Nexus is exposed. Longstaff hitting it. Watley hitting it. Blue Spirits hitting it. And DegreeSports are not going out without a fight. They take this to an even series.
Yeah, just a complete crush in that team fight. They just came out hugely ahead of them, so complete credit to DegreeSports there. It wasn't even close. They did not even make it look close on that one, and arguably more one-sided than the game one, which Barrage Retirement Home looked good in, but they fell apart. They clearly just were not ready for the opposing team to offer that much resistance. And I feel like the draft was solid, but it was mostly how they played around it, which I was really convinced by.
And I really just like the strong early start from DegreeSports. A big issue that they seem to have in the last game was when they tried to play meta. It is no secret that DegreeSports and their history at the University of Exeter are sort of a bit of a cheese team. We even saw that over the course of the split that qualified them into this tournament, they were just playing non-stop Ziggs support and just playing for towers across the map as fast as possible. When you try and put Lee Brothers onto something like the Jarvan, he's a bit less comfortable. He's like, oh, I have to actually play the game properly a little bit. But you put him on something Xin Zhao, he's like, yeah, I want to do a level 1 invade. I want to do a level 2 gank. He's suddenly a lot more confident. And then when you have that and they can just sort of make the game their own, that's when DegreeSports get their wins.
Yes, but also no. For me, it wasn't them doing something wacky and zany. I feel like when you have a strong level 1, it's not cheese anymore to go for the invade.
Oh, yeah.
The main criteria was setting the Lee Sin behind. And I feel like that was the first time I thought DegreeSports are playing really intelligently. They understand their win conditions. They know how to play the map. And you could see the ideas were there. The execution definitely was off. It wasn't flawless by no means, but they knew setting the Lee Sin behind was a massive priority.
Yep.
Facilitating Handsome in the mid lane was a big priority. And then control of the bot river and allowing to make plays on the bot lane as a result. That is exactly what they need to do. And it's exactly what they did. So huge credit to them. Again, executions could do work, but now going to game 3, they have the momentum, and I'm feeling more confident about them right now.
I'm feeling more confident. I think, as I said, they're feeling more confident. A lot of confidence all around the place. We'll have to see if they are able to secure that win, because after this game, one team will be advancing to tomorrow and one team goes home. So stick around. You don't want to miss it.